guys, Ashley here. Today I'm going to be discussing all my thoughts and feelings on the GRISHA trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, which I just read for the first time ever. Alright, so if you know me, you will know that the Six of Crows duology by Leigh is one of my favorite duologies of all time. I have it on such a high pedestal. I just love the world. So it may come to you as a shock, Leigh being my favorite author of all time, that I have not read the lovely GRISHA trilogy by her. What is wrong with me? I don't know. For some reason, just have not read it. I have been spoiled by a lot of people over the last couple years about the GRISHA trilogy, and I think because I do hold Six of Crows so high and dear to my heart, it has just pushed the GRISHA trilogy further and further away on the TBR list. But I finally read it. It's done. I'm telling you my feels. There will be a little bit of a spoily part at the end, even though honestly most of the book population has read the series and I have not. So here are my thoughts. Yay. Okay, so going into the GRISHA trilogy, I already knew that it would by no far beat Six of Crows, but overall I do love it. I think as a series whole, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Going in order of which ones I like the best, I will say I think it was Siege and Storm, then Ruin and Rising, and then Shadow and Bone. If I had to give a word to describe each of them, I would say Shadow and Bone is kind of like meh. Siege and Storm is like hype, action, plotting, planning, hype, and then Ruin and Rising is like I am reading towards my doom. Oh shit. 3 stars, 5 stars. Hey, I will say, having read Six of Crows first, you can definitely see how much of Leigh's writing has improved over the years, and I think that's something that lacks in the Shadow and Bone. I think that really shows when you read Shadow and Bone for the first time. It's just her writing and the world she's created in the GRISHAverse is so just well developed, and there's so much depth to it, especially her characters. All her characters go through so much character development, and I feel like that's something we almost lacked in the GRISHA trilogy. Although I went into it already knowing and being familiar with the GRISHAverse, it kind of just something was missing, I felt like, and that's why for Shadow and Bone I only gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I felt like Alina, even though she's our main character, Alina and Mao especially, I just didn't vibe with them. Like, I didn't connect to them emotionally. Like, something was missing, and although like she goes through all these trials, I felt like her character development throughout the series just kind of stayed the same. Like, as she was faced with all these new challenges, she would go through them, but like as a character, it didn't, you know. Speaking of the characters though, we have the Darkling and Nikolai on the other hand, who have so much depth to them. There's so much in them. There's so many layers. Onions have layers. Feel like we also just didn't get into them as much as I'd hope, especially with Nikolai, which I understand now people who are expecting and very excited for King of Scars. There's just so much to their characters that we didn't see, so I'm very excited for that duology now and seeing where that goes. Another thing, the pacing, especially in Shadow of Bone where we have a lot going on. You know, she's going to the little palace as a now classified GRISHA, and she's there for like maybe a couple months, weeks, I forget, training. It doesn't feel that long. Reading Six of Crows, not knowing anything about the GRISHAverse, not knowing anything about the GRISHA, having no knowledge whatsoever, I fell right into that story right away. Everything was so well developed. The world, you feel like you're in it, and when I was reading Shadow of Bone, I didn't feel like I was in it. I feel like I was an onlooker watching instead of a person experiencing these things with Alina, and that's where my issues lie. But the things that did shock me and surprise me, a lot of people had told me that they're not satisfied with this ending. They don't think that she ended up with the right person, blah 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 blah, but hold on, what are these bitches talking about? This had so much freaking satisfaction in my opinion. How Ruin and Rising ends, it's what I expected. I didn't expect anything else. The ending is what I thought was going to happen, and I'm satisfied with it. I don't know what else you wanted or what you expected to happen. I was satisfied. I was satisfied who she ended up with. But me on the other hand, I just wanted her with everybody. I was like, you do you, girl. You wanna end up with him? That's fine. It's different because a lot of books, when they end, especially series, you kind of reach this high point and then it cuts off. You don't see how the world is afterwards. You don't see how the events that happen in the story affect the world in the future for these characters. And Leigh did a really good job, especially in Ruin Rising. After the initial, if you want to say climax happens, you get to see her have discussions with a lot of people. You see a lot of these events unfold and how it affected them. I was satisfied. Another thing about Lee's writing, it's like, okay, so we have a Darkling, for example, and you know he's this evil little murdering little fool, okay? And you're not supposed to like him, but you like him. Alina even says the Darkling has just this drawl that he just puts out towards people. They're feeling the Darkling, puts off these vibes where you're just, I'm very drawn to him. He has this pull on people. And as the reader, I too felt that pull. I know you just murdered these people, but like, I still feel the draw. I still feel it. So yes, overall, I really enjoyed the GRISHA trilogy. I'm super glad I read it. Do I regret not reading it before I started Six Crows? Yes and no. I do regret it in the sense that the people, and I have said this before, the people in the GRISHA trilogy show up in Crooked Kingdom, and when I read Crooked Kingdom, I'm just like, okay, here you are. Here are your characters. They're here to aid the Six of Crows crew. I don't know who you are. I don't really care about you. But now knowing who is in there, I'm like, damn, if I had read that knowing these people, I would have been like, shook! It didn't hit me. That emotional hitter that was meant to hit you did not hit me. But that's about it, you know? It's fine. So if I had to say you had to read these in a specific order, I would definitely say read either the whole GRISHA trilogy first and then read the Six of Crows duology, or just read Six of Crows, the GRISHA trilogy, and Crooked Kingdom. That way you're prepared in Crooked Kingdom. I definitely think it's worth a read. If you love Leigh Bardugo, if you like the GRISHAverse, definitely invest in this series. It's just interesting and cool to see where the world we know and love came from, where it started, what events affected this. Just this whole civil war. It's very fascinating and very interesting, and I love it so much. I really do. Like, honestly, when I say I have never cried so much in my life, it takes a lot for me to cry in books. I'll often find myself tearing up, or the tears will be welling in the tear ducts, but they won't fall. Like, bitch, when I was reading Ruining Rising, they were just falling. They were falling, and I was stressed, I was happy. It was emotional, lovely time, and I just really enjoyed crying. I really did. So I think that's all my thoughts I have to say. I was satisfied. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Did I like it as much as Six of Crows? No. It's worth it. It's worth it to know these people, these characters, the background, the history. I love it. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of spoily part. And again, probably not a spoiler for most of you who have read it already, but for me, they're new things. I just want to hit a couple points where I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, first things first is in Siege's Storm, when we meet this boy, this privateer, he's introduced. I'm like, who are you? Because like one of the things, everyone is obsessed with Nikolai, okay? They love Nikolai. So I'm like, where is Nikolai? Who's this person? How is he gonna pertain to the plot line? When we're introduced to this privateer and he's all, you know how he is, and people are commenting on his appearance. Something's off about him, something's fake. I'm like, oh, I knew it. I knew you were him. I knew it. Oh, shit. Another thing, I forget when this happened because I just binge read this whole series, so the events and the order of events are kind of muddled in my head. It's either in this or in this one, when Alina, she's connected to the Darkling, you know, and she starts having these like weird ass visions of him where he'll just appear in front of her and he's not really there, but he is, and you can't, he's like kind of blurry, but bitch, he can touch you. Voldemort, I can touch you now. Ha ha ha. That was very reminiscent of my New Moon Edward Cullen days, where Bella's missing Edward and the only way she can see him is to seek these thrilling things. I was like, boy, the Darkling, what you doing pulling this Edward crap on my girl Alina? You're just showing up. I'm like, where'd you come from? You're there, you're not there, but he can touch you. He can touch you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna read some quotes I found extremely nice and scream-worthy. This one, 365, it's when Mal and Alina just, you know, they're about to go into the fold, but first they gotta, you know. And she wakes up and she writes their names in a diary. She goes, I wasn't sure why I did it. I just needed to say we had been there. The feels. Again, reading towards my doom, I'm like, oh my god, are they gonna die? Oh my god. Also, I feel betrayed. Mal is with the third amplifier. This is not what I asked for. This is not what I signed up for. Thank you very much. Next one is page 404, also on Ruin and Rising. These are all from Ruin and Rising because I decided to mark some things when I was reading this one because I was so stressed out. Yep. But this is when Alina's talking to Nikolai and she goes, actually, they're already calling you Coral Rensny. I heard it whispered in the streets of King of Scars. I see the connections. Who would have known? Did you know back then when you read this? King of Scars. King of Scars. Next one is 417, when they all come to visit Alina and Mal. When they're, you know, established. They're at the school now. Oh my god, wait. Do we meet Alina and Mal in Six of Crows? They don't go under Alina and Mal anymore. They go under these weird aliases, which they never mention, like what they actually are. Do we see Alina and Mal in Six of Crows and not even realize it? I need to reread this, guys. But anyway, it's when they all come and visit her and they give her a blue kefta, and then there's a note inside the gift and it says, "You will always be one of us." Ugh. Tears. Tears are falling. You will always be one of us. It's so sad. It's just, Also, when the Darkling dies, which I knew he was gonna die, I knew it was coming, but still, I felt it in the heart. Oh, and how they buried her with him. But when he's dying and he's like, "Say my name," and she's like, "Alexander," and I'm like, oh, yes. Yes! Alright guys, that is all my thoughts and feelings on the GRISHA trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I hope you enjoyed this weird review thingy thing. Comment below if you read the GRISHA trilogy. What are your thoughts? Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with who she ended up with? You know, let me know. Yes, now, oh my god. Okay, I just forgot that I have a special edition. It has an exclusive Darkling story. I haven't read it yet. Oh, sorry. Alright guys, yeah, so thanks for watching. My name is Ashley, this is AshleyOutPaged, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Thank you!